And Florida's reporting a record 156 deaths now from the coronavirus. That's the highest in a day for our state. This brings the total number of deaths for COVID-19 to 4,600 in Florida. The state added nearly 14,000 new cases overnight. More than 315,000 people now officially infected. Nearly 20,000 people have been hospitalized. In Southwest Florida, Lee County has 11,700 cases and counted 206 deaths. Collier County up to 7,000 cases and 100 deaths. Charlotte County 1,300 cases and 80 deaths. DeSoto County with 1,000 cases and 13 deaths. Hendry County at 1,300 cases and 30 deaths. And Glades County with 215 cases and 1 death. More than 2.8 million people in the state have been tested. Nearly 316,000 results turned out to be positive. Almost 2.5 million were negative. The overall percent positive now is 11.2%. Well, Lee Health says nearly 98% of staffed operational beds are being used. Almost 25% of them are occupied by COVID-19 patients. 57% of ventilators and 10% of ICU rooms are available. NCH is still in urgent need of COVID-19 convalescent plasma donations. You can call the number on your screen if you want to donate. The hospital system wants to remind you that visitor restrictions are still in place, except for cases involving children and end-of-life care. Right now, 10% of their adult beds are available. 25% of critical care beds are open, and out of a total of 153 ventilators on hand, only 14 are being used today, 9 for COVID-19 patients. President Trump's big nomination bash in Jacksonville next month is getting a serious scale back due to the virus. The Republican National Convention will now reduce in size and add other protections. It comes after the GOP relocated the event to Florida last month, worried that the coronavirus restrictions in North Carolina would put a damper on the party. Our Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders has the very latest.
It was going to bring in perhaps 50,000 people. RNC organizers now saying COVID has them limiting attendance to 2,500 delegates the first 3 days. Guests and alternates allowed the last day for Trump's speech, a total around 7,000.
It'll be a smaller crowd. We're going to have fewer speeches. And at the same time ensure that we use both indoor and outdoor venues.
Senior Trump campaign advisor Mercedes Schlepp detailing the safety measures, temp screenings, masks, and testing available. Schlepp also defending the choice to move forward with the convention, despite Florida's ongoing surge of cases, deaths, and hospitalizations.
They want to be able to witness history in Jacksonville, Florida.
The change is seen as a win for opponents who worry health has taken a backseat to party vanity. Chair of the Duval County Democrats, Daniel Henry, feeling concerns were heard.
It's good to see that they are recognizing the fact that COVID-19 is real, is something that should be taken seriously.
But medical experts warn the protections announced still may not be enough.
We make things as virtual as much as possible.
Professor Mary Jo Trepka chairs epidemiology at Florida International. She says even with outdoor events and PPE, transmission is still a risk in large groups, and especially concerning when attendees come from around the country.
You have the potential that you're going to have even more spread as people return home.
Despite the new safety measures, one thing that hasn't changed about the convention is its date. It's still set for August 24 to 27. That's the latest out here. Back to you.
Thank you, Forrest. Just a reminder, if you are planning to vote, here are some important dates to keep in mind. The deadline to register for the August 18th primary is just 4 days from now, Monday, July 20th. The deadline to request your mail-in ballot is August 8th. To do either of these, head to registertovoteflorida.gov or your county's election supervisor's website. St. Matthew's House has their largest food distribution day in history. Happened this morning. Volunteers packed boxes of shelf-stable items for needy families. They say they've seen a 2,000% increase in feeding services since the outbreak of COVID-19. Today, they helped 2 drive-through food distributions, one at First Baptist Church in Naples, another new site in Lee County.
Without the resources of community coming together, desperation and despair is a really local thing, and it really happens with a hungry kid. And so I love being able to be part of the solution, packing up food, preparing, making sure that those kids in line today, that their families getting the food they need.
Well, the new site is at Mount Olive AME Church in Fort Myers. They're holding distributions there every Thursday from 4 until 7, and it's funded by Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity Nu Boule Foundation. You can find more information on our website, fox4now.com. There are other places in Southwest Florida helping you feed your family. This is where you can go tomorrow. From 10 in the morning until noon, the Harry Chapin Food Bank will be at the Boys and Girls Club of Naples, FSW in Fort Myers, and Sunsplash Water Park. You just have to drive up and pop the trunk. Volunteers will fill it with fresh produce and shelf-stable foods. And we also want to remind you that Fox 4 is hosting a virtual job fair. This will be August 13th, and we're going to do the entire thing over Zoom. There are at least 24 employers, and we keep adding more. So if you want to register, just go to fox4now.com, click on Rebound Southwest Florida.
Be careful about what information you're freely putting out there on social media.
Thieves are trying to take your information. Now more than ever, what you can do to lower your risk of becoming a victim. And it'll soon be quicker and easier for you to fly to the West Coast. The airline helping you make it happen. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6. Cindy?
It was our turn to get that much needed rain today. Some spots 1 to 2 inches or even more. I'll show you. Let's take a look at our radar right now. We still have some showers out there. Stick around for the forecast.
Pumpkin. Live from the station that's in your corner. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
I want to get some breaking news now out of North Fort Myers, where a deputy-involved shooting at a motel ended with 1 man dead. Fox 4's Leslie Dellisbour live now at the scene to explain what led up to this. Leslie?
That's right. Right now, we are on a very active scene between Pondella and North Tamiami Trail in North Fort Myers. Now, as you can see, there are roughly 10 units on scene. And moments ago, the Sheriff's Office Mobile Command Center showed up, and deputies have blocked all lanes except for one along North Tamiami Trail, causing some backup as investigators are working to put the pieces together where the Lee County Sheriff's Office says a deputy-involved shooting took place. It happened around 1:30 this afternoon. Lee County Sheriff's deputies say they tried entering a room at the Aloha Motel for a well-being check, of a white male in his 60s.
That white male exited his hotel room and displayed a rifle, pointing it at our deputies and running at them. Our deputies gave verbal commands and were placed in fear for their life and safety. Subsequently, they engaged them and discharged their firearm. The subject was struck a few times. The subject went down.
Now, Sheriff Marcino says deputies did perform CPR until paramedics arrived, and the suspect later died from his injuries. Now, right now, those deputies involved have been put on administrative leave, which is standard protocol. And right now, deputies are working to gather more details about this case, as this is an active investigation. Live in North Fort Myers, Leslie Dellisbour, Fox 4, in your corner.
Leslie, thank you. Teachers can take a breath. The Lee County School District is tossing a controversial form. Some teachers worried this form took away their rights if they were to get sick with the coronavirus. Fox 4's Rob Manch spoke with a teacher and the union about why this form was there in the first place. Rob?
When employees with Lee County Schools found out that they might have to sign a form agreeing to accept the risks of going back to work, they started to spread the word on social media. The union even posted the document to its Facebook page. So I spoke with a teacher about her concerns going into next school year. Johnny Mae Hawkins is a teacher at Varsity Lakes Middle School. She read the document and was struck by the line that said, quote, "I understand and assume the risks."
That tells me right there that you know that there's a possibility that we could get sick.
Hawkins is worried about COVID-19 numbers continuing to rise.
I want to know that if I did get sick, will the school district take care of me?
Teachers Association President Kevin Daly says the form was originally meant for workers over the summer. It was only a few weeks ago he learned people were still being asked to sign it.
Some administrators had kind of given it to people and said, hey, listen, I need this for you for August. which clearly wasn't what the intention was.
I spoke with an attorney about what signing a form like this could mean for an employee.
We hope that folks aren't going to be asked to sign these documents as conditions of employment or returning to employment that they are giving up rights they would otherwise have. And it would lessen upon the establishment their duties for safe workplaces.
Daly says the school district did not want anyone to feel like they were giving away rights, so they're going a step further than just getting rid of the form.
They have agreed to destroy any of the forms that were signed prior to the discontinuation of the use.
Hawkins says she hopes the focus will be on who is at risk rather than who might be at fault when she and her colleagues head back to work.
We didn't ask for this virus. It's not our fault what we're dealing with. We just happen to be in a situation where we are high risk.
And Hawkins tells me she, like many of her teaching colleagues, was asked to fill out a survey about schools reopening. She answered it saying she would only like to teach virtually. But Daly tells me if enough kids sign up to be taught in person, some teachers will have to go back. In Cape Coral, Rob Manch, Fox 4, in your corner.
It's been dry for quite a while, unusually dry since we are in the rainy season. So today, all that changed. As the flow switched from the west to the east, that's what happened. We start to get these showers and thunderstorms finally developing in the afternoon and the evening. Storms all moved out to the Gulf of Mexico now, and those sea breeze fronts get pinned along the west coast, and that's why we have the development of storms in the afternoon and the evening, and now most of that has ended. But this is going to be the pattern that's kind of stuck in place. It's a stagnant pattern. Huge ridge of high pressure is going to sit over the southeastern part of the country. It may wobble just a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's going to stay, and that will continue our area in that easterly flow with showers and storms developing at about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and pretty much out in the Gulf of Mexico about 7 or 8 p.m. We still have a few showers and storms left over, but most of it is now pushed out in the Gulf. Sarasota particularly hard hit this afternoon with a lot of lightning there just offshore. Sarasota area, Venice area, wind gusts over 45 miles per hour. We still have a few storms developing off these outflow boundaries that continue to slide off to the north now. A couple little showers have redeveloped now over Glades County, Highlands County. Down here also in Lee County, Alva, a little shower just came through there in the past few minutes. Might see a couple more coming in from Lake Okeechobee, but as the sun sets, daytime heating will be gone and they will die out. Fort Myers Beach, wow, 2.4 inches of rain today. Englewood picked up 1.6. Bokeelia also an inch and a half. In Venice now 2.75 inches of rain. So these are very efficient rainmakers, and it was all because of the clash of the air masses this afternoon. That Atlantic sea breeze made its way off to the coast. That's where the storms popped up, and now they continue with that easterly flow pushing out into the Gulf of Mexico. So this evening and overnight should be partly cloudy. Not bad. Tomorrow afternoon, here we go again. Showers and storms coming in from the central part and eastern part of the state. So we'll be busy again with scattered showers and storms. Tropics are at least nothing going on here. Very, very quiet. Expected to stay quiet at least for the next 5 days. So certainly good news there. We still have the Saharan dust that's helping us out. Temperatures, highs today, 93 at LaBelle, 93 at Immokalee, Bonita 91, 92 degrees at Fort Myers, but Sarasota topped them all. New record high of 98 degrees beat the old record of 97 set back in 1973. And that's why those storms just off the coast of Sarasota were so powerful this afternoon, feeding off of all that heat. 86 right now at Immokalee. We've got a lot of sunshine there. It still feels like 97, so a warm day. Northeasterly winds at 5 miles per hour. So the rest of tonight, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures dropping to about 75 degrees. Easterly winds again tomorrow. 92 ought to do it for a high. Showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, so plan on it. And here's your extended forecast. Now, there's not going to be any change here. Every afternoon for the next 7 to 10 days, highs in the lower 90s, showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening.
Thanks a lot, Cindy. Identity theft on the rise, and the FBI says thieves are using it to get a hold of your unemployment checks. Fox 4's Rachel Lloyd shares what you can do to protect yourself. Rachel?
Cybersecurity experts say avoid posting too much personal information on your social media accounts. They say hackers can steal your identity even if you don't give them your social security number. The FBI sharing a warning after new reports of people stealing identities to file fake unemployment claims. Network security engineer Evan Lutz says that spiked because of the pandemic.
Cybersecurity incidents have actually been on the rise in general before COVID happened. And I think that accelerated things past its expected increase.
The FBI says fraud claims this year are projected to surpass last year's numbers.
Well, last year, Florida alone had $43 million worth of identity theft fraud. And right now, through July of this year, we're up to close to 34 million already.
So I asked Lutz, what are ways to protect yourself, starting with social media?
If going to your Facebook page allows somebody to see your address, your hometown, your high school, the first car that you owned, that information might be enough to be able to go in and answer security questions to reset an account password, and then all of a sudden you've lost control of an account that's in your name.
He says that's how hackers can access other accounts to then learn your social security number and use that to file those false unemployment claims.
Make sure on your web browser in the URL you see the little green lock or the lock icon depending on which browser you're using. And your URL should always be https://. What this means is it's a secured connection.
And the FBI says check your bank accounts regularly. Report any suspicious activity to the Internet Crimes Complaint Center. Rachel Lloyd, Fox 4 in your corner.
Thanks, Rachel. Well, a heads up for drivers in Cape Coral. Police want you to know about a speed limit change. A study conducted on Del Prado Boulevard found that driveways and side streets have created an environment that recommends a lower speed limit. Del Prado has a higher than expected crash rate that can be in part attributed to speeding. It also has double the crash rate for pedestrians and bicycles compared to the rest of Lee County. All speed limit signs south of Hancock Bridge Parkway, which previously displayed 45 miles per hour, you can see were lowered to 40. Soon you'll have more options to travel out of RSW. Alaska Airlines will begin service to Fort Myers in November, and it'll bring the first nonstop service from LAX and Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Flights will operate 4 times a week. The acting executive director for the Lee County Port Authority says, quote, "These flights give our community something they've wanted for a long time, nonstop service to the west coast of the United States."
He didn't resist. I actually was expecting to get kicked, but he was very friendly and didn't do anything.
This is probably not what you expect to see in the back of a police car. How officers in Florida caught a kangaroo on the loose. And if you miss the hugs of your loved ones, well, one woman has a solution, her invention for a safer embrace. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Models.
An unlikely suspect bouncing through a Fort Lauderdale neighborhood. Someone reported seeing this kangaroo this morning. Now, at first, police thought it was a joke, but when they got to the scene, they could see that it was quite real. Officers were able to get a rope around the marsupial's neck, put it into the squad car. They say the kangaroo was actually very friendly and didn't kick anyone. Police think it is someone's pet. Fish and Wildlife now taking care of the animal. A clever woman in New Jersey came up with a safe way to hug her loved ones during the pandemic. Her name's Melissa, and she created what she calls this hug wall made out of plastic shower curtains. It includes 2 armholes on each side, giving people a chance to embrace each other. She says her 4 children haven't hugged their grandparents since March, so she set up the hug wall to celebrate her grandmother's birthday. As you can imagine, an emotional moment.
It's been so hard for everybody in the world, and it was refreshing to be able to hug my parents and see their reaction and see my children's reaction, who have been asking for months when this is going to be over.
Well, she said the birthday get-together was the best day since the pandemic started.
But it's a sign of the times. You know, it's we're not the only ones that are suffering this way. It's happening all over the country. Events are being canceled everywhere.
More organizers announced the cancellation of anticipated events around Southwest Florida, what this could mean for our economy. A Florida engineer is selling a tool to help prevent the spread of germs when opening doors or using keypads. We'll show you how it works and where you can find one. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Live from the station that's in your corner, you're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Another round of big events being canceled this week. Thanks for staying with us here for Fox 4 News at 6:30. I'm Jane Monreal. The popular American Sand Sculpting Championships and Roar offshore powerboat races will both be postponed until 2021 due to the pandemic. For Your Corner's Christina Evans explains how this will affect our local businesses.
For many folks, a day on the beach can't be beat. This, coupled with the excitement of live competition, is what draws over 100,000 people to Fort Myers Beach every year for two popular events. In its 34th year, the annual American Sand Sculpting Championship is a staple for the beach community.
The Sandcastle event has morphed over the years into from a weekend event to a 2-week festival. So it's that's huge.
When people come, the mayor says they stay in hotels, buy souvenirs, visit restaurants, all things that help the local economy. The Fort Myers Beach Chamber of Commerce estimates that in the loss of this event alone, the city and its businesses will lose millions of dollars of potential revenue. This impact will be doubled with the cancellation of the Roar offshore powerboat races, which just returned to Fort Myers Beach after over a decade hiatus. For resorts like the Lani Kai, tourists book a year in advance for special events. And while October will be quieter for them this year, they believe safety is the top priority in this pandemic.
With the decision to postpone the races until next year, again, we completely understand. And I mean, it's all about safety and safety first with the pandemic.
Organizers for the powerboat races did say that there will be a smaller boat race held the same weekend in Fort Myers Beach, and spectators will still be able to view this event from the shoreline. In Fort Myers Beach, Christina Evans, Fox 4, in Your Corner.
Thanks, Christina. 2 people are recovering from a shooting in the Harlem community of Clewiston. It happened around 1:30 this morning near the Harlem Gardens apartments. The victims are expected to survive. Investigators are following up on all leads, so if you know anything, call the Hendry County Sheriff's Office. The Red Cross is helping out a Fort Myers family who was forced out of their home because of a fire. According to the Tice fire chief, it started at a home on Birmingham Street around 1 this morning. 5 people, including a child and 2 dogs, were inside. The father told Fox 4 his daughter smelled smoke and woke up everybody before calling 911. No one was hurt. Everyone made it out safely, but the cause of the fire is under investigation. A new COVID-19 testing site will open in Fort Myers tomorrow. You'll find it free. It's a walk-up site at Yawkey Park on Jackson Street, and it opens at 8:30 in the morning until 4. It's a partnership between the Lee County Department of Health, Lee Public Safety, and the city. There's no parking available. Only 500 tests will be administered for anyone 18 or older, and you do not need an appointment or doctor's order to get one. The Florida Department of Health in Collier County has a warning for you tonight. Scammers are soliciting neighborhoods and offering coronavirus home test kits for a fee. The health department says staff will not go door to door selling test kits. The former sheriff of Broward County has tested positive for the coronavirus. Scott Israel was hospitalized for further evaluation after testing positive Tuesday night. He was the last elected sheriff of Broward County. He was removed, though, from his position in January of 2019, shortly after Governor DeSantis took office. The governor argued that Israel mishandled 2 mass shootings, including the Parkland school shooting in 2018. A Tampa area entrepreneur is coming up with ways to keep people safe during the pandemic. It's a young man who invited Sean Daly from her sister station into his workshop to show off his latest project.
So it is a contactless solution for your keychain to safely open doors and touch keypads while out in public.
What do you call it?
The COVID key.
The COVID key!
That's it.
That's Tampa's Tim Heilmann, an engineer who runs a drone repair shop. And that's his latest side project, the COVID key, which he's making on his trusty 3D printer.
One day got a message from my girlfriend that said, hey, you did a great job with the mask straps. Here's a new challenge for you.
That's right, the mask straps. Back in April, Tim invited me to his workshop to show off these straps, which reduced ear chafing. The response was tremendous.
It was fantastic. When the news story with ABC Action News went off, I woke up at my girlfriend's house that morning and there was just an inbox full of hundreds of emails. To date, I think we produced just over 3,000 to 4,000 of them just from that.
So now something new to keep you safe. For an affordable price, Tim will send off a package of COVID keys, which are surprisingly sturdy.
I couldn't see myself going out without it now.
That was Sean Daly reporting very unique products there. If you do want to buy COVID keys, go to fixandflydrones.com/COVID key. A pack of 6 costs $25. Parts of Fox 4's commitment in helping you rebound is focusing on mental health. This afternoon, Governor DeSantis held a roundtable about the COVID-19 crisis and mental health. He said the pandemic is affecting residents in nursing homes because they can't see loved ones, as well as patients in hospitals due to visitor restrictions and children who can't see their friends because of distance learning.
You're having these real critical moments in people's lives, and then they're cut off from physical presence of their loved ones. And so that comes at a significant cost.
The governor said Florida recently increased mental health funding by $25 million in K through 12 schools. Today, the FCC assigned the numbers 988 as the national 3-digit phone number for the Suicide Prevention and Mental Health Hotline. It'll be up and running within the next 2 years. 988 calls will be directed to this line, Lifeline. That number, again, on your screen will still work, which is 800-273-8255. Florida's Department of Economic Opportunity is canceling contracts with 2 firms that handle part of its phone customer service, cutting loose nearly 1,000 people. Back in March, the state hired phone reps to help the department deal with an influx of unemployment workers. They've now ended the contracts with 2 private firms because they weren't getting high-quality service. The DEO says there are still more than 3,000 fully trained customer service reps to help people during regular business hours. If you are having trouble paying your FPL bill, there is help out there, but you do need to take action. FPL says most customers who are behind on their bill have not contacted the company for help. The power company is continuing to suspend disconnections from non-payment, waiving late fees and offering payment plans, and the company can help you find financial assistance. It's important because customers are still responsible for past due balances. Customers who need support should call the FPL number on your screen. The Miami Dolphins won't be allowed to attend training camp or even preseason games this year. The team made the announcement today as part of a series of safety measures to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. That means the Dolphins will play the Philadelphia Eagles and Detroit Lions without any fans at Hard Rock Stadium. The earliest that fans will get the opportunity to see the Fins at home will be in September against the Buffalo Bills, and tailgating will be banned during this season. Everyone inside the stadium will be required to wear masks when not eating or drinking.
Give them something to hope for, to dream for, something fun. You know, take your kids, take your husband, wife, whatever, you know.
A jewelry store going out of business isn't going quietly. Why the owner's holding a treasure hunt. And students in Immokalee are using their time off from school to give back to others, how they're helping fill a huge need in the community. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Ticket.
Live from the station that's in your corner, you're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
The boredom and not to mention financial strain of COVID-19 has prompted a Michigan man to design a treasure hunt for the ages, and the prizes aren't small. Jen Shands explains how it all started and how much is on the line.
You won't find gold, diamonds, or rare coins inside J&M Jewelers. It's Johnny Perry's shop in Washington Township. That's because he hid it all over the state of Michigan.
We had the time of our life burying everything, and it was awesome, man.
Johnny and his wife Amy turned it into an adventure of their own, hiding what used to line the shelves of his family's jewelry store, everywhere from Metro Detroit to the UP.
I've had coins and gold, diamonds. I've had things in my safe passed down to from my father for years and years and years and years. Stuff going back 150 years old, you know.
Most of the treasures are worth around $4,000. All told, Johnny thinks he's buried close to $1 million in coins, diamonds, and silver, even vintage engagement rings. He's closing the store, which was passed down from his late father, who taught him the trade. Johnny's essentially giving away the inventory and just selling tickets to the quest.
He would think I'm nuts. He always thought I was nuts. But he'd be all for it. He was a big giver.